Hi fam, welcome back again to my YouTube channel, Intentional Favor here. If you are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe and join the family. Also turn on your notification bell so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos. And to my returning subscribers, you guys are the best. Thank you for always coming back to watch my videos. So the UK government recently made massive changes in the UK dependent visa application. Massive, and a lot of people have been panicking about this. In today's video, I'm just going to be sharing with you guys what these changes are, and of course I'll be explaining to you the best ways to go around getting the documents that are required for this visa application. It's nothing to worry about really. I think so many things have been going on in the UK recently. We hear news about how people smuggling fake families or fake dependents into the UK, and I think in response to that, the UK government, they decided to put in these strict measures to make sure that those coming into the UK, especially on the dependent visa, that they are actually genuine. So when you start your dependent visa application, you get to a point where they begin asking you about your partner. You are a dependent. Of course, there is someone who is the main applicant, either on a skilled worker visa or a student visa or whatever visa. So you are applying to be that person's dependent. In the new application form, there is a place where you get to, then they start asking you a series of questions. We'll go through all of that, and of course I'll be providing you with tips on how to go around the documents that are required for this application. So when you get there, you see relationship with partner. Okay, with your partner, they want to prove, which is very important, and I think that's the major bulk of these new changes, about proving your relationship with your partner, to prove that you are indeed a partner, you are this person's spouse, and not just a fake person trying to maybe pay the huge sum of money so that you can come or find your way into the UK. So the first question you'll be asked when proving your relationship with your partner is, are you and your partner married or in a civil partnership? That's the first question. Then the next question you'll be asked is, can you provide a marriage or civil partnership certificate? Which you should answer yes if you are really married and you are in a civil partnership with the main applicant. After that, you'll be asked, when did you get married or enter a civil partnership with the main applicant? Then you'll be required to write the date, the month, and of course the year you got married. So most of the changes start from the next couple of questions that you'll be asked during your dependent visa application. And the first one is about arranged marriage. You'll be asked whether the marriage was an arranged marriage or an arranged civil partnership. Regardless of your answer, if you answer yes or you answer no, you always go to the next question. There are no further questions after this. But arranged marriage doesn't mean that the marriage is fake, because we know that in some cultures it's common. Okay, it's common in some cultures. Arranged marriage is very common. All right, so you'll be asked whether this is an arranged marriage or not. If you answer yes, you go to the next question. If you answer no, regardless, you will still go to the next question, which is proxy marriage. So you'll be asked, was this a proxy marriage or proxy civil partnership? And of course, there they defined a proxy marriage for you. It's actually a marriage or civil partnership when one or both partners are not present at the ceremony and are usually represented by another person. You must have heard of this kind of marriage. Say, for instance, someone in a very distant country. Let's say the person is in Australia, is anywhere, and then the person, for some reasons, could not come back for the wedding, for the marriage ceremony. The person sent his father or her father to go and represent him or her, or the person, someone stands in for the person. That is proxy marriage. So you'll be asked whether it's a proxy marriage. The answer is either yes, you move to the next question. No, regardless, you still move to the next question. The next set of questions is another reason why people are really worried, because those questions, some people are not sure how to answer it or how to go about it, and that is about living together. And they put a time frame when it comes to that question. So the next question is, have you lived continuously together for the last 2 years? That's the next question you'll be asked. Have you been living together for the past 2 years? If your answer to that question is yes, the next question will be, do you have 2 documents in both your names to show you have lived together at the same address for the last 2 years. They also provided the types of evidence you can provide: tenancy agreements or letter from landlord, mortgage agreements or evidence of property ownership, utility bills, bank statements, joint or individual, other bills such as phone, television license, cable license, other official documents showing you both have the same address, like driving license and all of that. Okay, so if your answer is yes, you'll be expected to provide 2 of these documents. If you're in the UK and really you've been living together for the past 2 years, these documents, to provide them will not be an issue. But in a country like Nigeria that is not so civilized, people are worried about how to prove this, how to provide these documents. I don't think you should be worried about it. For instance, the first one they mentioned is tenancy agreement. I know that tenancy agreement is not common because it depends on your landlord, how civilized your landlord is. So even if your landlord is not civilized, they also ask for letter from landlord, and I think you can easily get this. Easily go and get a letter from your landlord saying that both of you have been living in this address since whenever it was, as long as it is above 2 years. You've been living together for the past 2 years, so you can easily get that letter from your landlord. Another way you can also prove this is bank statement. If both of you have a joint account, easy peasy, that solves the problem, right? Just provide that. But they also said that you need to provide document for each year. So if you are providing the bank statement, make sure that at least you provide for each year. But they also accept individual accounts, right? So what that means is that you have to make sure that the address that you register with your bank is actually the same address. Both of you have the same address. That way, when you print out your bank statement, it will be at the same address, and that is the second evidence, or that both of you have been living together for the past 2 years. Even if you struggle to provide any of these, another way is your voter's card. If both of you have voter's card, your voter's card have the same address, and of course you have the same polling unit, easy peasy, you are good to go. These are ways you can provide this, so there is nothing to worry about. On the other hand, if you have not been living together for the past 2 years, probably you are in a long distance marriage, or you have not even been married for up to 2 years, if you answer no to that question, you will be asked to give a reason why you have not lived together for the last 2 years. So use this box to just fill in, probably because you've not been married for up to 2 years. And remember, you already told them when you got married or when you entered a civil partnership earlier on, so they can know that you have actually not been married for 2 years. I will also add that if you are in this category, you've not been married for up to 2 years, just also add it there that culturally, you are not allowed to live with someone you are not married to. Okay, here they respect culture. So you can also put it there as the reason, because you know that there are people that are not yet married, yet they have been living together for the past 2 years. Even in this country, it's a common, should I say practice, is also common. So also try and put this, that culturally you are not allowed to live together, and you don't believe in that because they respect cultures and values. So you might want to add that as the reason, okay, why you have not been living together for the past 2 years. But if you're in a long distance marriage, explain why you are in a long distance marriage. After you have provided the reason why you have not been living together for the past 2 years, the next question they will ask you is evidence of why you lived apart. Why were you living apart? Can you provide evidence of why you lived apart? For example, work contracts or evidence that you were studying in different locations. So if you're in a long distance marriage, that's very easy for you to prove why you have not been living together. Okay, so you can actually provide this as the reason why you have not been living together. But these examples they gave for people that have not been married for up to 2 years, you already told them that earlier. Okay, and mind you, these applications, they are considered. And one good thing about this application, okay, is that whoever is reviewing, the visa officer who is reviewing this, if they have any doubt about your application, they will actually send you an email and ask you for an interview to come and explain yourself. That way you can always prove the genuineness of your marriage. But that's why I said that in the previous question, you should tell them that you have not been married for up to 2 years, and culturally you are not allowed to live with someone who you have not been married to, and that's why you've not been living together and you just recently got married. So if you answered yes to that last question to say that you can provide evidence of why you both lived apart, the next question they will ask you is, can you provide evidence to show how you and your partner continued your relationship while living apart? So even when you are living apart, can you actually provide evidence that your relationship continued? Yeah, it's because of school, okay, it's because of work, but did that relationship continue when you were living apart, or were you divorced? That's actually what they want to be sure, that both of you are still married or you are still in a civil relationship, although you were living apart for 2 years, and you have an evidence that both of you, these are the reasons why you were living apart. Did that relationship continue? And the examples are birth certificates of your children. So if, for instance, both of you got married and 2021 you were living apart, yeah, and in 2022 you gave birth to a child, the birth certificate of that child will bear the date of birth of the child, the parents' name, both father and mother. If both names are there, it shows that both of you, your relationship is still ongoing for you to have given birth. That's actually an evidence to show that both of you. But even if you don't have a child, they're asking for holiday bookings or passports showing that both of you traveled together. You know, it will have the same stamp, the same date, to show that both of you traveled together. You can also provide pictures. You know, I know some phones like mine, we always do, like if you snap a picture, it will tell you the date the picture was taken. You can also bring up picture evidence, for instance, a Facebook post, okay, that both of you made, you were together, maybe you visited him. That's an evidence that you visited him, or that you visited her, or she visited you, whichever way, and you guys took picture, you guys went on this vacation. Because sometimes you don't need a passport to show that you traveled from Lagos to Port Harcourt to go and have fun, okay, but maybe a post, an Instagram post or a Facebook post or any post where both of you snap pictures and you put it online, there will show that. Or if you have a picture that will show the evidence, maybe your Google Drive or anything, your Google Photos, you can also gather all of that. Those picture evidence can also serve that both of you have continuously been in a relationship, continuously been married, even though you are living apart. Just like the previous one, if you said no, that you cannot provide evidence that both of you continued your relationship while living apart, they will ask you to give reasons why you cannot provide this evidence, okay? And they will tell you that your application may be refused if you cannot provide evidence of your relationship while living apart. Let me explain this. It says that your application may be refused, not that your application will be refused. They are two different things, okay? So even if they have doubt, you couldn't provide it, it doesn't mean that your application will be refused because you couldn't provide this evidence. The only thing is that this new guideline and everything tells the officer, whoever is looking into your application, to invite you for an interview. Yeah, invite you for an interview so that you can actually be asked further questions to prove your relationship. And if you are really married, genuinely, you are not in a fake marriage, or you are not forming or paying someone to be the dependent, you will go for that interview and there is nothing to worry about. So don't be scared that if you don't have all this evidence, just make sure that you provide as much evidence, as much document as you can, you know, in your application, and then leave them to make the decision regarding your visa application. Moving on, the next question they will ask you is about being related to your partner. They will ask you whether you were related to this person before both of you got married or before you became civil partners. If your answer is no, you move to the next question. If it is yes, they will now give you a list of relationships for you to show that, okay, this is actually the relationship, but it's mostly about father, more like immediate family, or father, mother, child, brother, sister, including half sibling or grandchild and all of that. Because I know that there are some cultures that people might be related, but it's a very long distance relationship, like distant cousin or fourth cousin and all of that. They still allow them to marry, and that is not usually considered as an incest. So, but these are the relationships that they are asking of. So if your answer is no, that both of you were not related before you became partners, the next question they will ask you is, are you currently married to or in a civil partnership with any other person apart from this your partner? If your answer is no, of course you go to the next question, and that is, have you been married or been in a civil relationship before? Have you been married before? So this is a place where if maybe you were divorced or you are widowed, this is where you will put it. For instance, if you are widowed, I think you should also put it, especially if you have previously made an application. Let's say that you were living with someone has already been your dependent, or you've been living together, or there is an application somewhere you made mentioning somebody to be your partner, to be your spouse, or anything. If that person is no more, still put it here, because sometimes they check their records. Yes, they check their records of all the applications you have made. You never can tell. I have an application made like that, where they have to go and check with the answer that this person gave previously about a family member, and they use that to actually deny a visa. Okay, so just be honest about that. If you are divorced, or you are widowed, and you answered yes to that question, they will ask you to give details of your former partner. Afterwards, they will ask you if you can provide evidence that your previous marriage or civil partnership has permanently ended. That's talking about your divorce, okay, your divorce paper, your divorce agreement, or maybe the death certificate of your previous partner. You have to provide that evidence as well. They will also ask you the same question about your partner. They will ask if your partner has or is currently married to or in a civil partnership with another person. So guys, these are the major changes that have been made by UKVI to the dependent visa application. And if you ask me, it's kind of worrying, but it's still straightforward and there is nothing to worry about. I want to believe that this video helped you. If it did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like it, and share it with as many people that you think might need it. Also subscribe to my channel if you have not, and I will be seeing you in my next one. Until then, stay blessed, remain intentional, and take good care of yourselves. Bye.